I had to just come outside for a minute. I'm so mad I'm shaking right now. So last Saturday, he had told me that he was going to punch my teeth out. I honestly, I don't even remember what we were fighting about in that exact moment. I know that I had brought up that he kept keeping us up till 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was really tired. I was starting to feel really woozy and sick from not getting enough sleep, and so I was trying to talk to him about that. It escalated, and he started complaining about everything that was wrong with him. I don't even know. Anyways, that eventually escalated into him telling me that he was gonna punch my teeth out. So I told him, okay, well, we can call the cops and let them know that you're threatening me again, or you can go for a walk and take a break, like we've agreed on, which is something that we've agreed on. And so he said, no, I'm not doing that. And so I said, okay, well, then I'm gonna have to call the police. And he said, you don't want to do that, you don't want to do that, and was basically implying that this wasn't gonna turn out well for me if I did. And so I was like, well, it's not that I want to do this, but unfortunately, if you're gonna threaten to hit me so hard that bones fall out of my face, I'm going to have to report that, So he decided he wasn't going to leave, still implying that that's not what I wanted to do and that I would be punished for calling the police. And so, which I don't like doing because all of them are domestic abusers too, so it's not like I'm calling them for them to be they're not going to be on my side, so it's not like I'm calling them to report this because it's going to escalate further. I'm not calling them because they're going to be safe for me to be around. Anyways, so I ended up calling the police. They came, they took the report. The same stuff as always. They basically were saying since there's no physical marks, they can't do anything. Since it didn't get physical, there's not anything they can do. And I said, I understand, but the last time I tried for a protective order, they told me that I didn't have enough proof, so now I need to start getting proof. So this is what I'm doing. They basically said, okay, so then they left, and then they came back 30 minutes later and said, there's actually a protective order. And I had a panic attack, and I thought that he had filed one against me, and that I would have to leave. I work from home, my kids are here, my cats are here, all of my plants are here, my plant store is here, he would have destroyed everything. So I was panicking, and I collapsed to the ground, and I was like, I have to leave, and they're like, no, he has a protective order, he has to leave, we're serving him, he has to leave. So I had filed for a protective order back in August, and they didn't ever actually come and serve him. So I just assumed that it didn't go through. I don't know what I thought. My brain's obviously not healthy, or else I wouldn't be in this situation. But I didn't think that it went through. I never called to get him served. I never went to a court date or anything like that. So they were saying, well, since he has this temporary protective order against him, he's going to have to leave. They served him, he left. He's been at his dad's since Saturday. Today's Thursday, so that's almost a week. It's 5 days. We've got the protective order thing straightened out. Apparently it was dismissed, and they shouldn't have even served it to him, so he can come back since he's on the lease. Well, my son has been really sad. I mean, this guy has been his dad for 6 years, and he's really sad. He already misses his birth father, who he never sees. That's already really hard for him, so now he's missing this other guy who's decided that he may or may not want to be his dad. And so my son comes to me today, and he's like, I don't think I want him to come home. He's mean, it's stressful, I get anxiety. I cry all the time. He doesn't want to deal with this anymore either. And it's his house too. And I think that he deserves to feel safe in his own home. And so I told him that. I told Jay that. I just said, and I told Chris. I told my son. That I don't know that I can tell him to stay away. But if he really doesn't want him here, we'll start taking steps to separate. And that we would just have to kind of see how that goes. I'm not really sure how that would go, and we just kind of have to see. And I just let him know that we would just kind of play it by ear, but that Jay was most likely going to be coming home. And he's not happy. He doesn't want him to come home. He's upset. He doesn't want him to be here, which I can understand. He doesn't like us fighting. He doesn't like who I am when we fight. I don't have the capacity to be a good mom when we fight. So on and so forth. Like, I do understand that. And so I told him, I was like, I'm not sure if I can tell Jay to stay away. He got very upset, and I told Jay, I was like, please help me. I don't know what to do. Chris is really upset. He's saying he doesn't want you to come home. So tell me why this stupid dumbass motherfucker is now going around saying that an 11-year-old shouldn't control whether he has the right to step a foot in his own house. How horrible of a person do you have to be to hear a child say to you that they like to hear that, to hear a child say that, and to not care, and to just immediately make it about yourself? Like, I'm so devastated. I knew he was a bad person. I knew that we weren't really gonna work out. More and more, I'm just feeling like he's a lesson that I have to learn, and so I need to hurry up and learn it so that my kids are safe. We're all gonna need therapy. But that just really kind of broke my heart. To have him just, like, literally, immediately, as soon as I told him that, and I didn't say it rudely at all. Like, I said it exactly the way that I said it to you. I need help. Chris is saying he doesn't want you to come home now. I'm not sure what to do. And he immediately turns around and he messages me, and he's like, I don't know why an 11-year-old is in charge of me coming home. And he calls me and he starts mouthing off to me about how I shouldn't be letting Chris decide this. I'm not. I don't know. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for thinking that this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard? For him to think that this is somehow an attack, or I'm trying to let Chris control my life, an 11-year-old? I want my son to feel safe in his home. I just want my son to feel safe in his home. He's too young to remember, but this is why we were told we had to leave his dad. We were told by the officers that, well, I was told by the officers that I would have to leave his dad, or else my kids would be taken from me. And the state would get them, not that their dad would get them, that the state would get them. Because of the unsafe environment, and because of the abuse, the physical abuse. And so now this is happening again, and obviously, I have a lot to heal and a lot to answer for. So, and that's not the focus of this video, but how terrible of a person do you have to be to hear the pain of a child and make it about yourself and act like that it's about control over you? It's just the most disappointing and probably one of the most devastating things I've realized about him is that he is so selfish and so self-centered. There's nothing else besides that, besides himself. That's it. It's been my day in a nutshell. Surviving narcissist abuse. Hope your day's better than mine.